We created last beautiful wonders, or at least began them, maybe as a monument to the past. The unbidden seemed unstoppable. We would try to stop them, but if it wasn't possible, we had to go and seek another place where we could grow stronger, to then return and defeat them in this galaxy.
It was only a cosmic blip, a matter of moments. The unbidden needed to destroy our stations, and more were already coming. They were everywhere. From every L-gate they swarmed our planets. Holes were poked into the galactic landscape everywhere, left, right, center. Everywhere at once, now that they had access to the L-cluster, the unbidden were unstoppable and were attacking the League of Non-Aligned Powers from all sides, as if joining the Fel-Wellet fanatics or the Sutherian enforcers in their folly to destroy life. Our sentry hub was assembled, half listening post and half space telescope. However, it was just the first milestone, and to see the full destruction of the unbidden, we would have to expand the sentry hub. They had also already joined the Kundan manufacturing. The League of Non-Aligned Powers was falling.
Research concluded.
And along all that Dyson sphere, harnessing the power of the stars has been a dream of earthen engineers throughout history. From crude combustion to the pale irritation of solar fusion. And we now stand ready to realize this dream. In the Dyson Alphyscan system sits the scaffold upon which we will build the Dyson sphere, encompassing Dyson Alphyscan and monopolizing the cataclysmic power of the star. We will lock us in there. And maybe the unbidden will not see us. This is the Great Reshni Alliance. We've discovered that you're building a Dyson sphere around a central star in one of your most beloved constellations, the One-Eyed Wanderer. The Wanderer has watched over our kind since the beginning of time. With her single eye, she guides not only our fleets, but the stars themselves in the journey across the sky, and now you have built a sphere around it, blinding her. Though it will take many years before we can tell the difference from here, the notion that she won't be watching over future generations has shaken our people, and they deserve a formal apology. Take the energy. If nothing happens, the unbidden will take care of it anyways. Let's see how strong their stations are. Oh, 1. That's not a strong station. What's this? 1. Strange bases here. We'll see how that works out. The Blind Wanderer. In an attempt to repair some of the damage done to the relation between our Empire and the Great Rashni Alliance, following the construction of a Dyson sphere around one of their most beloved stars, our first speaker travelled all the way to their home world to deliver a sincere apology to their people. Though it may take them some time to recover from their loss, they appreciated that we made an effort. Hopefully from now on the relations between our empires will only improve. That is good news. The constellation will be called the Blind Wanderer now. Well, maybe we can sublime before. Start time 2435. Our fleets are isolated from our home. Gateways and L-gates are completely taken over by the Unbidden. There is no path back. We can only try to jump. We will go to the Avalanche system to jump over to the Varelviv and then go to our home. Back. In shame. For everyone it was clear to see First Speaker Limathar had failed. For him as well. For it. His relentless pursuit of other wars, he had lost. The big game. The only thing left to do was set a small fleet on course to another galaxy and take as many of the culture citizens with them. But we would see if there was something to save. We would try to save it. The survivors, though, were sent to a journey to another galaxy, hoping they could flee the Unbidden. Whose forces were so strong that they made the ones of the awakened empires laughable at best.
Hostile IFF signatures detected.
Wars broke out everywhere in the galaxy. Even the sleeping Miravanya remnant declared a war. Now that everything seemed too late, they were eager to try out what they wanted to play with. Death. Before death came from all the sides.
Research concluded.
Everyone was getting ready to refit. It was time. First, the Culture Defense Force had to refit. Then fell the Fallen. And as the last step, the culture cruising was also set on course. To replace all of their fleets by anti-unbidden fleets. The 20 mega shipyard
Receiving transmission.
installation did what it could. Would it give us a chance? The chance was incredibly low. Most probably inexistent. Our power rose, but it would not be enough. Upgrades were done quickly, but without hope.
Receiving transmission.
We were going over the top. Way over the top, but with a fleet of roughly 600k military strength be enough to stop anything the Unbidden would send at us. And it wasn't just that. There were millions of them coming. Millions upon millions upon millions, more millions. They even started to eat into the Veiled Fanatics, bringing down
Fleet enhancement supplied.
that proud, holy empire, destroying everything in their way. Limathar was in the lead again, even though he had not prepared them as well as one should have, but maybe there was no way to prepare. We would sail forth to help our friends to the probably first first place where we could meet the Unbidden and their fleets. The sector next to the Kenlar clans would be the testing ground for the last forces of the culture. We were upgraded and ready ready to die, backups of our minds were on the way into another galaxy already. Hopefully not to repeat the same mistakes that apparently had been made without us knowing it. And still we sent out fleets to settle the dreams of generations past. Set foot in the ring worlds, and maybe someone there could flee and hide in the great halls of these massive space stations. Last projects were completed left and right, while the galaxy's fatalities would grow more and more fatal. After the last fight, if it was a last fight, the culture would flee. Limithar was re-elected in some sort of stubborn act of who knows what. And we were preparing to confront the dimensional invaders that had strengthened themselves so massively.
Research concluded.
The Sinistra habitat was lost. We have lost our colony on Sinistra 8 habitat. After taking up positions in orbit, the extra-dimensional invaders bombarded the surface and feasted on all life forms below. The planet's entire biosphere was consumed by the creatures. Not a single trace of anything living remains. These monsters, they must be stopped. Not a single trace. Their fleets were in the millions, billions, trillions. That was how we felt it. Even though only millions. Only millions. We were heading for a black hole. Trying to visit Sezwetov. A system where everyone passed through. Confronting the void. What was that? The massive damage we did to that station was not nearly enough to take it out. Their massive shields held so far. Then their hull had to go down.
Initial colonization phase commencing.
It was time to test our mettle against what we had there. We had lost many ships in our attempt against even a single space station. Now it was time to confront them once and for all. Only one of their fleets. And we could not even make a dent. Their shields held.
Fleet silenced. Fleet silenced.
And the culture had fallen.
In this theater of lost hope, it was time to pack up. We sent a big ship with our minds over and left the backups behind. It was a generation ship. The whole generation of the culture would go into space, and the records our backups sent would demonstrate the chaos and the hopelessness of the unbidden and their strange and dangerous relatives would bring to the galaxy and destroyed. Our backups did what they could, while we made our way to another galaxy. To return one day when we were in a shape to beat the unbidden and save what was left in the hidden edges of this great and beautiful galaxy. For the culture.